Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. You know the drill. We're ranking all the Pillars of Eternity classes. If you need a refresher on basic mechanics, there's a link in the description to my 2023 Pillars of Eternity Beginner's Guide. Let me know down in the comments if you found the information in this video helpful or have any feedback regarding my rating. Let's jump into the 10th class of this series, Rogue. Rogues specialize in eviscerating tough, high-priority targets. The core mechanic of this class is Sneak Attack, which provides a 50% bonus to melee and ranged damage anytime you hit an enemy with the blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, or weakened afflictions. Obviously, that's a massive increase to your damage, and depending on your team, it might be very easy to apply these statuses. Rogues get a +1 bonus to stealth and a +2 bonus to mechanics. Mechanics is a must-have for your team, so it's nice having it on your main character, and stealth will help your rogues safely reach soft targets at the start of a fight. Rogues get very low endurance, low health, very high accuracy, and low deflection. You could probably already tell they are glass cannons, who can shred enemies, but also very easily get shredded. At level 1, you can choose between two abilities. Crippling Strike is available twice per encounter and lets you perform a full attack with 25% extra crushing damage that will also hobble enemies. Hobbled creatures have their dexterity reduced by 2, their movement reduced by 1.5, and their resolve defenses reduced by 20. This is great not only because it sets enemies up for sneak attacks, but also because it makes it more difficult for enemies to run away from you. The other option is Blinding Strike, which is available once per encounter and also performs a full attack with 25% extra crushing damage that will blind enemies. Blind reduces accuracy by 25, perception by 4, movement by 2, and the enemy's reflex and deflection defenses are reduced by 20. Blind is a superior debuff for you since it reduces deflection by 20, but Crippling Strike is available twice per encounter, so honestly, I consider the two abilities equal and you can just take what you prefer. At level 2, you have the option to take Backstab, which provides a 150% bonus to damage when ranged or melee attacks performed within 2 meters of the target while you are stealthed. On the one hand, obviously this is a massive increase to your damage. On the other hand, it's difficult to pull off. You can only do it once per fight. Even if you do pull it off, the attack might miss, and even if the hit does connect, now the entire enemy group is alerted and most likely attacking your rogue. I would skip this. At level 3, you get 3 more abilities to choose from. Reckless Assault is a modal that reduces your deflection by 8 while providing an additional 20% damage and giving you a +8 bonus to melee accuracy. Yes, it will make you more vulnerable. No, you should not care. Dealing damage is the sole realm of the rogue. Mitigating damage is the responsibility of everyone else in the party. Definitely pick this up. Escape is available once per encounter and increases your reflex and deflection defenses by 25 for a decent period of time. Again, you don't care about mitigating damage, skip this. Dirty Fighting converts 10% of your hits to crits and is absolutely a must-have. Some players prefer to play rogues at range first until the rest of the party has more gear and abilities to provide the rogue with adequate protection. In that situation, you would take this first and then take Reckless Assault later. Otherwise, I would take them in the opposite order. If you take Dirty Fighting, then at level 3, you have the option to take Vicious Fighting, which adds another 10% to your conversion rate, allowing you to convert 20% of your hits into crits. Absolutely bananas. At level 4, you have 2 additional abilities to choose from. Deflecting Assault reduces the deflection penalty from using Reckless Assault by 5. Again, I prefer to pretty much ignore talents and abilities focused on defense for a rogue, but this is not a terrible pickup. Don't forget, if you had selected Dirty Fighting, then you could take Vicious Fighting here instead of Deflecting Assault. Your other option is Shadowing Beyond, which is available twice per rest and allows you to break engagement while also becoming invisible. Basically, it's a get out of jail free card and you never know when you might need one. Consider picking this up if your rogue is going night-night all the time. At level 5, you get 3 more abilities to choose from. Finishing Blow is available twice per rest and does a full attack that has a +5 bonus to accuracy, a 50% bonus to damage, and deals up to 50% additional damage based on how much endurance the enemy has lost. For every 1% below 50% endurance, you will gain an additional 3% damage. So if the enemy has been reduced to 30% endurance, you will have a damage gain of 50%. This ability is a flat-out boss killer and capable of some of the highest single target damage numbers available in the game. Pick it up. The next option is Riposte, which is potentially triggered whenever enemies target your deflection and either miss or graze you. Your rogue will sometimes respond by doing a full attack. In Pillars of Eternity 2, you can multi-class, and this ability is a big deal. Here, you cannot, and as we have already discussed, Rogue gets horrible defenses, so Riposte is basically a trap. Deep Wounds allows you to do additional raw damage over time when dealing slash, pierce, or crushing damage to an enemy. Unfortunately, multiple hits do not stack this damage, and the timer on it is slow, so this is not very compelling, but it is extra damage, so pick it up if there's an extra ability slot available. At level 6, if you picked up Finishing Blow, then Devastating Blow will be available and add 2% more damage. So now for every time an enemy's endurance drops 1% below 50%, you will gain 5% additional damage instead of just 3%. Bananas, and absolutely you want to pick this up. At level 7, you get 3 more abilities to choose from. Adept Evasion is triggered when enemies target your reflex defense and causes 75% of grazes to be converted into misses and 50% of hits to be converted into grazes. It's possible to build a rogue that has really good reflex defenses, in which case this is worth picking up. Keep in mind that most enemies target deflection, and focusing on building up reflex defenses alone has limited rewards. Coordinated Positioning is available twice per rest and allows you to break engagement to switch places with a target. If you target an ally, this will work automatically, whereas if you target an enemy, you'll have to overcome their reflex defenses. Could be really nice, but unfortunately, it only has a range of 4 meters, and that significantly limits its effectiveness. I would skip this. Finally, Persistent Distraction allows you to distract an enemy that you flank. Distraction lowers all of an enemy's defenses by 6 and lowers their engagement slots by 1. Most enemies only have 1 engagement slot, so this essentially prevents them from being able to lock you down. On the one hand, this is a very nice debuff that is easy to trigger. On the other hand, it's not a debuff that allows you to sneak attack, and most likely you have very low intelligence, so it won't last long. Furthermore, applying debuffs is not the purview of the rogue. Skip this. At level 9, you get 2 more abilities to choose from. Withering Strike is available once per encounter and lets you do a full attack with 50% additional damage while also weakening the target. Weakened enemies have their Might and Constitution reduced by 2, Movement reduced by 1, and Fortitude and Will defenses are reduced by 20. It's not terribly impressive, but if you don't have any other good ability options at this level, pick it up. Fearsome Strike is available once per rest and will do a full attack with 25% additional damage while also hobbling and weakening the target. Once per rest and the main draws applying 2 afflictions, skip this. Before we review the last 3 levels, let me remind you that the channel has a free Discord available for you to join, and the link is in the description. If you enjoyed this video, I would also appreciate you hitting the like button. It really helps the channel out, and if you want to support this kind of content, please consider becoming a member of the channel where you will get access to full playthrough episodes. At level 11, you get 2 more abilities to choose from. Death Blows provide you a 100% bonus to damage against targets that have 2 or more afflictions, which allow you to use sneak attack. You'll still get the sneak attack damage, so basically you'll hit for 150% additional damage, and keep in mind, unlike sneak attack damage, this damage applies to all attack types, so if you're one of those weird dudes who uses spells with your rogue, this will still apply. No question, you definitely want to pick this up. Smoke Cloud is available once per encounter and allows you to make all enemies in a 2.25 meter radius distracted. This is a poor bailout considering some of your other options, and I would skip it. At level 13, you get 2 more abilities to choose from. Sap is available twice per encounter and allows you to do an attack with 20% more damage while also stunning the enemy. Stunned enemies cannot take any action, their dexterity, perception, and intellect are reduced by 4, and their reflex and deflection defenses are reduced by 30. The debuff is powerful, and this attack has extra damage, so sure, why not pick it up? Your other option is Shadow Step, which is a modal that is available once per encounter for 6 seconds. You will teleport to a different location and then come back at the end of the timer. During this period, you'll have an increase of 20% to melee and ranged damage. This feels weird to me and very situational, so personally I am not a fan, but you don't have many good ability options at this point, so feel free to pick it up. At level 15, you can select Feigned Death, which is available once per encounter and makes you invisible, along with being immune to engagement for a small period of time. There's nothing else all that great at this point, so might as well slap on another get out of jail free card. Overall, I rank this class an A. On the one hand, no other class can dish out single target damage the way a rogue can. The entire kit is geared toward being a boss killer, which can be an incredibly satisfying role to play on the team. Also, it can be a lot of fun creeping around groups to sneak attack annoying squishy targets. Unfortunately, Rogue is tedious to play because nothing about them is self-sufficient. You really want at least 2 people on the squad who are regularly applying afflictions to get the most out of having a Rogue. You also need quality frontliners who can take the heat, preferably ones like Monk who can also apply afflictions. Obviously, the Rogue also needs healing and buffing, which it cannot provide for itself. Constant micromanagement is required to ensure you do not attempt to engage someone that annihilates the Rogue's weak defenses. This gets a little easier as you reach higher levels, but the issue never really goes away, especially since you'll most likely wear lighter or no armor by mid-game. You can use the Rogue at range to mitigate some of these issues, but honestly, in my opinion, that's a very unsatisfying playstyle for this class. Rogues are clearly meant to be right in the thick of things, walking on the edge. Also keep in mind you cannot flank enemies at a distance, so your ability to generate sneak attacks would be more limited. From a roleplay standpoint, Rogue is also a mediocre choice for your main character, as being a sneaky assassin type of class doesn't mesh with what you do as a watcher. On top of that, there is very little reactivity in the world to you being a rogue. The Devil of Karak is your rogue party member, and she is stuck with armor that reduces her attack speed by 40%. This increases the rogue's rating, since it's quite possible for you to make one that is superior to her despite her amazing story. On top of that, if you are creating a party that revolves around getting the most out of Rogue anyway, then it makes sense to bring 2 of them, so there's nothing there that conflicts with you rolling this class. That completes my ranking of the Rogue class. Hope all of you enjoyed this video. Take care!